In December 1942, a jeep carrying an ordnance technician, flanked by 2 armed guards, delivered a secret weapon to a B-17 bombardier. However, the process was far from simple. The special delivery was the famed Norden bombsight, a highly sophisticated optical-mechanical instrument used by the United States Army Air Forces for precise bomb deployment. The bombardier installed the device in the flying fortress's nose, but was ordered to keep it covered until airborne. This meticulous procedure was repeated for each bomber as crews prepared for missions over Germany and beyond. Held in high esteem by the Allies and heavily guarded, the Norden bombsight was an essential asset in the fight against the Axis powers. But to protect the cutting-edge technology, its existence was shrouded in secrecy. Even so, propaganda promoting the bombsight's unparalleled accuracy led to a web of mystery, disinformation, and inflated claims, obscuring the true effectiveness of what is still regarded a game-changing technology during one of history's most significant wars. Planning. Following World War I, United States war planners were settling on perfecting precision strategic bombing, both as a way to capitalize on the growing potential of air power technology, while simultaneously avoiding the horror of trench warfare. However, strategic bombing required precision bomb sights, a device used to help bomber aircraft accurately drop their weapons on targets from much higher altitudes and speeds to match those of the next generation. In 1921, the United States Navy's Bureau of Ordnance assigned Carl Norden, a Dutch-American consulting engineer, to study the problems surrounding precision bombing and issue recommendations regarding already existing bomb sights, like the Mark III pilot directing sight. Concerned that the project was too important to be put in the hands of a single person, Navy leaders recommended that he take Ted Barth, the man in charge of gas mask production during World War I, as his partner. While the service initially returned an earlier prototype created by the team for modification, the second version, described as a marvel of design, was quickly approved in 1927. Norden bombsight. The Norden bombsight was a complex but ungainly-looking 2-piece instrument that used a series of mechanical and optical components to help bomber aircraft navigate towards its target and accurately drop the bomb at the right moment. Weighing more than 40 pounds, knobs, gauges, levers, windows, and indicators protruded from the system's lumpy frame, leading to nicknames like the Cork, the Football, or the Golden Goose. The bombsight worked by using the flying aircraft's speed, altitude, and wind conditions, on par with a series of optical devices, to calculate the precise moment when the bomb needed to be released. This was done by measuring the angle between the target and the bomber, as well as its altitude above the target. Inside were 2 high-speed, direct current-powered gyroscopes, one for maintaining vertical orientation set by the bombardier and the other in the stabilizer for heading. Consisting of more than 2,000 parts and machined with a precision never before used in a mass-produced device, the Norden bombsight was often called, quote, the single most complicated mechanical device ever manufactured. To protect such a promising project, the Norden bombsight was clad with the utmost secrecy well into the war, and was part of a production effort on a similar scale to the Manhattan Project, with a total cost of $1.1 billion. Implementation. Initial tests with B-17 aircraft fitted with Norden bombsights proved quite successful, albeit under ideal weather and visibility conditions. On December 2, 1941, the acting chief of the Bureau of Aeronautics wrote to the Secretary of the Navy, enthusiastically telling him, quote, the Norden bombsight is considered to be the principal single factor of superiority which the air forces of this country possess over those of potential enemy countries. Moreover, as one of America's most important military secrets, no photographs, specifications, or performance data were released to the public, despite a powerful and positive agenda praising its technology. To preserve this vital secret, Washington developed an intricate and secure system for transporting and handling the bombsight that was so complicated it made efficient maintenance almost impossible, significantly complicating flight operations. Until late 1943, the Norden bombsight was consistently safeguarded by stringent security measures. Typically, the devices were stored in air-conditioned, dust-proof vaults patrolled by armed guards. During training, U.S. AAF bombardiers were required to swear a solemn oath to guard the secret weapon with their lives, and were ordered to destroy it in the event of an emergency landing behind enemy lines. Unbeknownst to them, the secret was already out. German discovery. The veil of secrecy surrounding the Norden bombsight was shattered when Hermann Lang, an employee of the Norden company, stole the plans and reportedly sold them to Nazi Germany officials for $1,500. Armed with the stolen plans and data obtained through reverse engineering downed bombers, the Germans built a mock-up of the Norden bombsight, the Luftwaffe 7, or Luftwaffe 7 bombsight, which was used by the Luftwaffe. The Luftwaffe 7 was similar in function to the Norden bombsight, but boasted a simpler and more user-friendly design. Its controls primarily consisted of 3 large knobs for adjusting aim, making it easier to operate than the Norden. The Luftwaffe decided that the Luftwaffe 7 was better than the Norden and dismissed the American device with no further consideration. Thus, despite years of extraordinary efforts by U.S. military and civilian authorities to keep the Norden bombsight under wraps, America's secret weapon was never secret, except to the American public. Battle-tested. Over the years, about 90,000 Norden bombsights were produced during World War II. The model was designed for use in level bombing by heavy bombers and was installed in the B-24 Liberator, B-25 Mitchell, B-26 Marauder, and the B-29 Superfortress. The word is, the first significant operational use of the Norden bombsight in combat occurred during the early stages of the conflict in 1942, as the United States plunged into the war following the attack on Pearl Harbor. The bombsight was then used in hundreds of missions by the Army Air Forces and the Navy, beginning with the earliest American bomber raids in the European theater of operations. The aircraft equipped with the device flew relatively short missions to targets in France, where its most common targets were railway marshalling yards, shipyards, and submarine docks and pens. Soon, the Americans learned that the Norden bombsight could be accurate within a 75-foot radius from the target, mostly depending on the bombardier's skill. This led to the best bombardiers in the service being assigned to man the bombsights of the lead aircraft of the group. Meanwhile, the remaining bombardiers were instructed to observe every move and release their bombs at the same time as the leader. As the war progressed and the needs of the Army Air Forces changed, several attachments were devised to improve the model's performance without a complete redesign. As such, the execution gradually improved by 1942 and early 1943, but losses remained high in both aircraft and men. End of war. After World War II, the Norden bombsight continued to be used by the U.S. military in the early years of the Cold War. Then, throughout the Korean War, the Norden bombsight remained in use, but its effectiveness was limited by the difficult terrain and adverse weather conditions in Korea. By the late 1950s, the Norden bombsight had been largely replaced by new technologies, including radar-based bombing systems and laser-guided bombs. Its last combat use was in 1967 with the United States Navy's VO-67 squadron, dropping sensors onto the Ho Chi Minh Trail. While the Norden bombsight is not in use anymore, its basic principles, such as employing complex calculations and optical systems to guide bombs to their targets, persist in contemporary technologies. Controversy. To this day, rumors continue to circulate regarding the accuracy of the Norden bombsight and the role the device played in the Allied victory in World War II. Even though Army Air Forces officials claimed the bombsight could accurately drop a bomb into a pickle barrel from heights up to 30,000 feet, reality proved to be quite different. Despite its sophisticated engineering and 20-power telescope, the bombsight was not as accurate as initially reported. Other issues included human error, the engineering and manufacturing capabilities of the time, the complicated physics of bomb ballistics, the hazards of active war operations, inadequate training, unwise design choices, and inherent errors in the mechanism, among others. One of the most infamous failures of the device transpired in 1944. Over the course of 22 bombing missions, Allied bombers dropped a whopping 85,000 bombs over a chemical plant located in Leuna, Germany, using the Norden bombsight, with only 10% landing accurately within the perimeter. After one of the most extensive bombings in the war's history, the Leuna factory resumed operations within a matter of weeks. However, the truth about the bombsight's performance remained concealed from the public due to the intense secrecy surrounding its specifications, as well as Washington's desire to bolster public morale. Nevertheless, the Norden bombsight remains a significant milestone in the history of aerial warfare. Today, it's regarded as a major technological achievement of World War II, a device that played a crucial role in reducing civilian casualties and collateral damage during the conflict, and helped to establish the importance of precision bombing in modern warfare. Thank you for watching Dark Skies. Remember to hit the like button before you go. And for more exciting content about history's most remarkable aircraft, their missions, and beyond, subscribe to this and all the Dark Documentaries channels. We publish regularly, so stay tuned for more.